Okay, so this is Brooke from Ramblin Man, and he's going to tell us what he's getting into here. It looks like he's got a lot of stuff here.
Yeah. So how you doing? I'm Brooke. What we're doing today is we're upgrading from drum brakes to the D-Max disc brakes. And what this is going to do for you is it changes your system over from electric braking to electric over hydraulic braking. When you put these disc brakes on, you're going to stop in about half the time as you would with your drum brakes on your RV. So this is one of the best safety upgrades you can do to your RV at any time. Anytime you need to hit the brakes, you know you're going to stop with these brakes on there.
Now, these are electric or hydraulic?
Electric over hydraulic. So what it does is it runs from the electric on your truck, goes back to a pump, and that pump pushes the hydraulic fluid, the brake fluid, back to each of the calipers for your disc brakes.
Okay. And you consider this brand one of the top brands out there?
Oh, D-Max is fantastic. I mean, they've gone through every level of testing you can imagine. Their product is flawless. And they are an excellent company that should anything ever go wrong, they have a 7-year warranty, and they truly stand behind their products.
Okay. Now, they also make, Kodiak makes these.
Kodiak makes disc brakes as well, and those are a fantastic option. They are very, very similar, but they have 5-year warranty. I've been installing Kodiak for years as well, and that's a fantastic product. Either way that you go, you're not going to go wrong. You want that braking power.
Yeah. What would be the advantage over the Kodiak?
So with the D-Max, you can see here, you're getting a little bit better venting. So they run cooler through those heavy braking applications. They're a bit more robust when it comes to the caliper design, the caliper setup. But they have passed higher levels of testing than other brands. And they've done very, very well over the road.
Cool.
So like I said, you can't go wrong with any brand.
So Joe's going to be happy.
He's going to be ecstatic. I'm telling you, the first time you hit the brakes, once you put discs on, oh, you're never going to want to go back to drum brakes.
He's had a smile on his face for a couple of days now.
I think he's very excited. He saw me pulling all this gear out, and he just, like a kid in a candy store. It was fantastic.
All right, so we ready to start on the camper, or are you still prepping?
Well, yeah, so what we've done here, we kind of prepped everything, packed all your brand new bearings, because whenever you're getting a disc brake upgrade, you're getting new bearings, new races. Of course, the hub is built in, so all of this is brand new. We have to repack these with grease before we tear the old ones off. Just get everything ready to go. So now that this is all prepped, now we can lift up the trailer, start tearing apart everything else.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's get to work.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're getting the last stand in place. Tires are off the ground. Okay, now he just took the lug nuts off, and he's going to tell us a little information on them, which I think is very good, especially if you get stuck in the middle of nowhere and got a flat tire and cannot get that lug nut off.
So most RVs come with a capped lug nut. You can see the sheet metal cap just stamped over the actual lug nut itself. This cap can deform, it can crack, it can fall off. And if that happens, you could be stuck on the side of the road without really being able to get this off of your RV and remove your wheel if you need to. So every one of Ramblin Man's installs comes with solid steel lug nuts. So these are one-piece machined lug nuts. You get them in either chrome or black, either way. But these are not going to deform on you. They're not going to break. They're not going to crack. This is going to be something that's going to live for the life of your RV, but also allow you to get that wheel off when you need to. Again, just adding to your safety on the road.
Now, why are you putting that back on?
Because we don't need it. Everything in here is going away.
Okay.
So what we need to retain are the washers, the lock nut, and the retaining clip, as long as the retaining clip's in good shape. Everything else is just going to the scrap metal, because you're getting new bearings, you're getting new hubs, new races. So all of this just goes away. Whole lot easier than, we don't know what the life of these bearings are. So at least you get some new ones. And now you know you're starting over from fresh. But if you take a peek at these brakes, they're actually still in pretty good shape. You still got plenty of life left on these. He's going to love his new braking.
Oh, yeah.
One of the common things that you're going to see here, though, is the rear pad is slightly thinner than
yes,
the
I
front
see now.
pad, if you
Yeah.
see that. That's very typical in drum brake setups, and that's just the mechanics of how the brakes
Oh, catch.
actually engage and how
Yeah.
they catch. Most of your pressure is coming right back here.
Okay. Okay, as you can see here, he's doing everything in order. He's not just working on one at a time. He's moving on, doing the same thing to each one. So he'll get the drums off on this side and move on to the next one. Okay, we're moving on to the next step. And what's that assembly called?
So this is the backing plate. This entire plate right here, if you're ever needing to replace your brake pads, don't buy the pads and replace just the pads. Take the whole plate, just like that,
The whole thing.
and you just put a whole new one on.
Okay.
That's the best way to go.
Seems a lot easier.
It's a lot easier, and it's about the same price as just buying the pads.
Yeah.
But
And it looks a lot quicker too.
it's a lot faster, but if your pads are failing, some of these mechanics in here might be failing as well.
Okay.
So why not just replace the whole thing?
Good.
Or upgrade to disc brakes.
Next year at the rally.
Well, and that's what I always tell people. If your current equipment is working for you, awesome. When it's time to change out your equipment anyway and you have to spend that money,
Spend more.
if you're thinking about upgrading to disc brakes, that's the time to do it because you have to spend money anyway.
Yep.
I know it's more, but it's worth it, I think.
All right, we're on the next step now, and what does that plate do?
So this is the caliper mounting bracket. It goes on in the same place where your drum brake backing plate goes.
Okay.
And when the hub goes on over this with the rotor, the caliper sits right here. So this is what's going to keep your caliper in place.
Okay. And this isn't the first time you've done this, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
And we keep getting some people come and go.
Bigger crowd.
Bigger crowd. All right, I see you're putting Loctite. That's red.
That's right.
Okay, that's good.
Well, again, I'm here to make your life easier and I'm here to fix something. I'm not here to break something for you, right?
Yeah.
So last thing we need is anything going wrong.
Okay, Brooke, looks like we're ready for the next step.
Yeah, we got the mounting bracket on there.
Yep.
We're throwing the discs on there. One thing, when you're putting the discs on here, I already have the bearings all inside.
Yeah.
You can do this, you could not do this. 100% personal preference. However, you have to be very careful of the seal back here.
Okay.
So you don't want to mar up this seal. When you're putting your drum brakes on there, you have the brake pads that you can kind of use to help slide it on, guide it on, so you're less of a chance of messing up this seal. With the disc brakes, you don't have that help with alignment. So you really have to be gentle when you're putting this on there so you don't damage this seal.
Okay.
Otherwise, just like we saw before, you might be looking at a potential for a blowout.
Okay. Now, do you pre-lube that seal?
No.
Okay.
So just support it, guide it on there, get this outer bearing on, and then we just put on our washer and our lock nut. And we took the hub savers off of this. Unfortunately, D-Max, the hub savers do not fit with their hubs at the moment.
At the moment?
Well, we'll see what happens in the future.
Okay.
We don't know.
Now, this part here is one I think really confuses a lot of people,
Yes.
is your preloading of the bearing.
Right. So anytime that you re-grease your bearings, you have to make sure that they're seated properly. I like an 1.5-inch socket. It makes the job a whole lot easier. You can use some channel locks, but then you end up marring up the lock nut.
Yep.
And then when you're taking it off with your fingers, you just end up messing up your hands.
Yep.
So 1.5-inch socket. I get it tight. And then I spin the hub to spread that grease around, and I tighten it down. You go down to 50 foot-pounds. I do that a couple times. Make sure that it still spins nice and freely. And then we back it off. so the nut is still loose.
Okay. No, you said 50 foot-pounds.
50 foot-pounds for...
You do this a lot, so
I do this a lot.
You know about what 50 foot-pounds is.
Yeah.
Would it be a good idea if somebody use
Get it snug
okay.
to where the wheel stops spinning, and that's about where you need to be.
Okay.
You don't need to crank on it.
Yeah.
There's a little seat on your spindle that bearing is supposed to set against. So you don't want to crank it too hard.
Okay.
You might mess up your bearing. But get it snug and then back it off. And then we go hand tight or 30 foot-pounds. Take our retaining clip or your cotter pin, whichever you happen to have, and you want it to line up with one of the corners of that nut.
Okay, I see.
So there's a D-cut in this spindle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a D-cut here.
Okay.
Those have to line up, but one of these has to meet up with the corner of the nut and then the flat side of the nut. And this should pop right on.
Just like that.
If you have to hammer it on, you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
Readjust, try again. And then with these, we're using a threaded oil cap. Works for grease just fine too.
Yeah.
Put these guys on. If they're the plastic ones like this, make sure you're not cross-threading them.
Yeah.
And I like the Velcro wrench. You can do this with channel locks as well, but then again, you end up marring the plastic cap.
Mm-hmm.
This just fits on here nice and easy. Tighten it down 25, 30 foot-pounds, and you're good to go.
Done.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, get the other ones done and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so what are you doing now?
So, spraying some brake clean on here. If anybody's noticed, I'm not wearing gloves. My hands get greasy, they get dirty. I put the discs on here with my bare hands.
Yep.
But we don't want to have any oil or residue left on these when we put it all together.
Okay.
Grease and brakes don't really mix well together.
Not at all.
So you want to clean it off with some brake clean before we go on to the next step and put the caliper on.
Okay. And that's coming up after you clean all four, right?
Correct.
I've been noticing you've been doing everything.
I like to do things in a routine. Again, it keeps me honest, keeps me doing the right thing the right way, and this is just what I've built up over the years.
Okay.
So you'll see me go around, I'll do the same thing on every wheel.
Yep.
And then I'll move on to the next step and then do the same step on every wheel just so I know that nothing's missing in there.
All right, so what's the idea behind taking them out?
All right, so what we're going to do, these are floating calipers.
Okay.
So you have two different types of calipers you can have. You can have stationary or you can have floating. So the floating means the caliper actually moves when you depress the brakes. You have one piston on this side. So as you hit the brakes, it actually pulls the caliper into the brake disc. So with a floating caliper, you have to make sure that your guide bolts are lubricated. So I just use some ceramic brake parts lube, put that on here so that as this caliper moves, it keeps moving.
Okay.
If this seizes up and is not able to actually float in there, then you're not going to get the braking performance that you should have.
Okay. And once again, everything's in order. He's doing them all. I see what you mean. If you was to go and do one, put it on, come back, you can possibly forget to...
Yeah. You know, and you know, I don't want to skip a step.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with doing it another way if that's your routine, but this is my routine. This is what I'm used to. So I don't want to skip a step for you.
Yeah.
Well, in this part too, when you're doing this, you don't want to be touching the brake pads.
Yes.
Just like we clean the rotors, we don't want to get any oil, grease, brake lube, brake parts lube on the brake pads. So just be careful of that.
Okay, we're ready to put them on. So it's really the same as what's on your car and
Yes, it is.
truck.
Yep. But with these, you want to be careful about over torquing.
Okay.
If you over torque, you can ruin the bracket. These go to 40 foot-pounds. So usually get them snug and then about a quarter turn.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to overdo it on these.
Okay.
One thing I should mention is these guide bolts come with thread locker on them. But if you ever take this off to do your bearings, to service your brake pads, put some blue Loctite back on that before you lock it back in.
Yeah.
That way the chance of this guide bolt working itself out
Okay.
is greatly reduced.
All right, Brooke, what's the next step here?
All right, so now we're mounting the pump. We're gonna go ahead and mount it to the wall in the propane bay.
Okay.
We already have the wire all ready to go. Drill the knockout, put a grommet in there so that we have a nice protected run so we can get the wire over to your electric brake wire in the coach and over to your battery compartment.
Now, why are you putting it in here as compared to in the front storage?
I like it in the propane bay just because it's protected. You're not having the pump in a storage area.
Yeah.
If you have the pump in a storage area, there's a chance that you're going to use it as a storage area, and then it could bump into the pump, bump into the brake line, and potentially you could lose your brakes.
Okay.
So I like to have the pump in as protected an area as I possibly can. And I found that the propane bay is a really nice option if there's space in there for the pump to fit.
Yeah.
And in this case, there is. So
Yeah,
it's
like you
perfect.
said, most people don't use that as a storage.
Right. You have your propane in here. You've got your hydraulic leveler in here.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
So this gives it a nice place, but it also gives you easy access. So when you have to check or refill, you got the reservoir right here, easy access to get to. It's not a big problem.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we got the pump in. The wire is being ran now.
You know, we got this, and then we got the brake line, and then bleed and test.
So we got the wire running up here, and then down the corner, and then coming down here to the battery compartment. Okay, Joe, we're getting closer, buddy.
Yes, we are.
Getting the power hooked up.
I'm getting excited. Makes me want to hook up to a camper and drive it around and check the brakes.
Yep. And getting the power hooked up, then we'll get the control wires hooked up and start running some hose, right?
That's right.
All right, so why are you going in there?
All right, so what we're doing, we're going to tap into the brake line, the electric brake wire that's already running back to your old electric brakes that you no longer need.
Okay.
So instead of me having to fish wires up through the cap here, it's easier just to tap into the existing wires. We've already tapped into it back here, and now we're just going to take one end of your breakaway switch
Okay.
and the negative wire that's running back here to your brakes, and that's going to be your new breakaway switch for the pump.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So it's easier just to work with it in here instead of fishing new wires.
Yes.
Use what's already in there.
Yep. Okay, Brooke, where are we at now?
All right, so we're kind of at the second to last step. We're running the brake line.
Okay.
And D-Max, they come with flexible brake line,
Yep.
which does make it a little bit easier for install. The downside being, unlike steel line, you can't cut and splice.
Yeah.
So you can't cut, flare, and make it to the exact right
Yep.
size that you need. So I usually leave a service loop in here.
Okay.
So if you ever need to move anything around, you have the flexibility to do that.
That is, to me, I think that'd be better than having your aluminum or what's the other?
So they have steel brake line or copper nickel brake line. This does not react to, like, say, road salt if you're in the Northeast or in any of the northern states.
Yeah.
This is far more resistant to that. So kind of a lower maintenance brake line, not something you really have to worry about. You should always peek under and check to see how everything's going. But with this, it's not bad.
Okay.
So really, you just need to screw in the ends, make sure they're tight. Don't over torque these. And when you're doing this, make sure that you have flare wrenches.
Flare wrenches.
Because similarly, you don't want to strip that out.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of out of luck.
Yes. Now, can you, if you was to blow that line, can you just buy that line, or do you have to buy the whole kit?
Nope, you can just buy this line again.
Buy that? Okay.
And have it set up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's easy, plug and play.
Yeah.
When we're installing these, the kit comes with some stainless steel cable clamps.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you're putting these every 2 feet.
2 feet.
Because you want to keep that vibration out of the line.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
As the pump is running, it's going to vibrate. If you have too long of a run in between there, you're just going to hear a shudder.
Okay.
You don't want to do that.
All right.
So run a cable clamp every 2 feet.
All right. All right, Brooke. So you said this is the first time you're doing the D-Max, right?
Yes.
This setup.
And the first time using the D-Max Flex line,
Yeah.
whereas I'm usually running coated steel brake line.
So right now you're trying to figure out how to put everything together to get to the other side.
Yeah, what's the best way to put this together? Because I want it to look like it was done well, but I also want to make sure that the brake line is not rubbing up against anything.
Yep.
It's still going to be secured so that there's nothing that's going to be falling down, causing any kind of hazard to hit it, so that if you do hit a road hazard, your brake line's not going to be in danger. So I'm just kind of looking at, are there any supports underneath the underbelly here that I can use to run the brake line across the axle? Typically with this type of brake line, you just have it following the axle.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if there's another way I can do it without zip tying it to the axle is all.
Okay. So once you get this figured out, it should be pretty much standard.
Yeah, fairly standard. It's a universal kit. So the hoses are already pre-cut, preset, with a certain schematic that D-Max likes to have it set up, but that of course doesn't work for every single trailer.
Yeah.
Every trailer is going to have slightly different geometry, so the way that you set up one may not be the same you set up another.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, we took a little time laying out how we were going to run this brake line. We figured out for this rig, for this layout, the best way to do it was in the underbelly. So if we pop under here, you can see we have the main line coming back. We threw a little bit of split wire loom right there just in case there's any additional rubbing. We've got it running into the underbelly right here. And then at each wheel, you can see we've got it coming out of the underbelly. We've got all of our junctions right inside here. So everything's easily accessible for inspections. You do have to pop this little bit down when you take a peek at it. But the main thing we're looking at is when we're running these brake lines, you want these flex lines to be clear of any of the springs or any points where they could rub. So we are going to reinforce these exits with some silicone and some spray foam just to make sure that nothing can get in or out, but there's also going to be no shifting of these rubber lines from the place that they are. All 5 points. Once we get everything put back together, get the wheels back on, we're going to take a look at these lines again, make sure that there's still no rubbing, that they're still clear. Once you have weight on a unit. Exactly. But so far, we are ready to start bleeding the brakes.
Okay. And actually, I like the way that looks. It's a more cleaner look coming down from the chloroplast.
This came out nice and clean the way it's looking right here.
Yep.
And when you get it from the factory, this is how it looks coming from the factory as well. So I actually like this look. This is not too bad.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
And this is .4, correct? Is that what you said?
This is .4.
.4.
Yeah.
What is a good email for you?
All right, so when we're bleeding the brakes, I like to go around and do this twice. The first time, I run it so that the brake fluid is actually getting to each of the calipers. That's what I do in my first rotation. The second rotation, I go through and get all the air out.
Okay.
Now, this is helpful when you're doing it by yourself. If you happen to have a helper that's out here doing it with you, you can just do that in one rotation if you need to.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so if you have somebody out here who's watching the tube, you could be like, okay, the air's all done. Yell at the person who's controlling the controller.
I got you.
All done. But when I'm out here doing this by myself, I'm out here bleeding the brakes by myself. I like to do it in 2 rotations.
Okay.
And that way you just ensure that all the air is out of the system.
Okay. Nice. All clear, no bubbles. All right, Brooke, we're all done bleeding. You got the wiring all hooked back up. What's next?
Everything's all plugged in. Everything's tightened up, ready to go. We already did our leak test, so now we're going to plug it into the truck.
Okay.
When you're switching from electric to electric over hydraulic, on Ford and Ram, there's a couple settings you need to change. On the GM, there's no settings that you have to change. All right, go ahead and squeeze that brake controller. If you wouldn't mind just yelling, because we're not really going to hear it over the truck.
Okay.
It's running? Oh, go ahead. It's running. Okay. So drop your gain down to 4.5. All right, yeah, so we plugged in the truck. With the GM, there's no settings you have to change on the truck control panel for it to understand whether it's electric or electric over hydraulic.
Okay.
If you have a Ford or a Ram, you have to go into your
Yeah.
trailer settings and change your brake type from electric to electric over hydraulic.
I noticed that when I was setting mine up when we first got the truck,
Yeah.
there was a different setting for it.
Yep.
So
And so we double checked, make sure that everything, the wiring with the truck, the wiring with the trailer, everything
Everything's
works
good.
with the truck. It's all
Okay.
good. We're going to go for a test drive, burnish in these brakes, and then he's good to go.
okay. How long to burnish them in?
Takes about 20 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, these are actually fairly quick. When you're burning in drum brakes, you know, that can take you upwards of 200 miles, depending on which manufacturer's
Oh, wow.
brakes you have.
Okay.
But with these, we knock it out in about 20 minutes on the road.
Yeah.
You're going to do 5 repetitions of 35 to 5 with a medium brake. And then you're going to do 5 repetitions of 55 to 5 with a heavy brake. And then we drive around for about 15, 20 minutes, let the brakes cool, and you're all set.
Okay. All
And
right.
that's it. So this was a pretty easy install today. Very happy with how it came out.
Yep.
And he's going to love his new brakes.
Yep. Okay. So we have the tires left to put on. Are you happy?
I'm very happy. I'm ready to go out and break.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to wrap this video up.
Right.
We're good. I don't think they need to
Nope,
see us
we're
put
all
the
good.
tires back
Yeah.
on. So,
If you don't know how to put a tire on, consult YouTube.
yes. All right. Thanks, bro.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. Joe, thank you
Hey, thank you.
for inviting me into your
My pleasure.
camping spot here. Okay, so that is how you put disc brakes on your camper. We are planning, hopefully, next year at the National Rally to get ours done. Tomorrow he's putting Roadmaster suspension on ours, so I'll be doing another video of it. So once again, thanks for checking it out. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.